Welcome back to a new video. Today we're sitting here with David Melnick of NitroAutoParts.com, and I'm going to go ahead and dive into his business and understand a little bit more about him. Could you tell the people who maybe don't know you a little cliff notes of what you do, who you are, and something interesting about yourself?
Okay, what I do, well, I'll start where I'm from. So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born here, raised here, parents Ukrainian. So I've always done online sales, just kind of playing around, but really started focusing on parts around 15 years old, started going to local junkyards and stuff. But what we do here is a full dismantle yard. So we buy cars off auction or locally, whoever it is. Local sellers are welcome to call us anytime. But we take cars in, evaluate the parts, fully dismantled in, and we sell them online. And that's at nitroautoparts.com or our eBay stores.
It's exciting. So your focus right now, are you more focused on getting people to your website, or are you trying to focus more on growing your eBay store?
Our focus right now is to grow our own website, basically, because we don't want to rely on eBay. eBay sometimes has very strict rules that could impact like the business pretty hard. So we're trying to build our own site, our local established store. So this, hopefully with this, we will be able to tell a little bit about our business and our process here.
Yeah, and before we get into a little bit of your background on the parts game, can you tell me about Nitro Parts?
Yeah, Nitro Parts started 3 years ago at this location. We went public maybe a couple months ago, but it's been 3 years of just kind of trying things out, learning from other yards, seeing what like best practices are. There's been some low spots, but we're finally at the point where we could offer our services to the public. And Nitro Parts, the name started from just trying to have a super short name, something that's one syllable. So it's nothing really sentimental. But
You guys don't sell any nitrous.
no, we don't. Disclaimer: no nitrous here. No performance part. Maybe once in a while, but we don't sell nitrous out here.
If you come in and ask for Dave, he might help you out a little bit.
Yeah. I got NOS, maybe some energy drinks. That's about it.
So what do you guys specialize in then?
We specialize. What we're trying to specialize is in late model vehicles, 5 years or less, or rare stuff, some kind of or rare or high end performance, or some heavy duty commercial stuff. Basically, what's in demand. We started with older parts, so some of this inventory you see around us might be older vehicles, but we're slowly starting to phase it out.
What does that mean, phase it out? You're only looking to buy newer cars, or are you guys just scrapping these old parts that you're not using, or what?
What I mean by phasing out parts, so we're trying to phase out older vehicles solely because they're not as much in demand, and our dismantler team, they have problems with like super rusted components or hard to take off. We're spending more time on it where we could be spending the same amount of time on newer vehicles and getting more return for it. So while what I mean by phasing out, we're offering pretty big discounts, like starting anywhere between 15% and gradually increasing it almost to half off to 50% off, just trying to move the inventory out and bring in newer stuff. So that's kind of how we're and also this doesn't mean we're completely stopping buying older vehicles. It's just we're not going to be fully dismantling them. We'll still buy really old vehicles off the street if someone comes in or someone calls us. It's very limited of what we're going to pull off of it. And that's kind of what our business focus is.
How long have you personally been in the parts business?
I've been, well,
Even automotive. I wouldn't say parts.
automotive. I've been in automotive since I would say about 15 years old. So I'm 25 now. 10 years ago, 2015, 2016, I've been doing parts for a while now at this point.
A decade.
Yeah, a decade.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
How does one get into parts at 15?
Well, if you guys maybe want to start somewhere and you don't have a lot of finances, and I would highly suggest just going to local scrap yards, and then reselling the stuff on Facebook. Because you have to be, or if you have a parent, maybe could make you an account for eBay. You have to be 18, and then start selling through there. But that's a great way to get into the business. See if you like it. You don't have to get a location right away. You do it out of your garage. I did that for a while. Or if you have some family member, you could start with a cousin. I also started with the cousin, and then kind of slowly build up from there. See if you like it.
You said you started at 15. 14-year-old Dave. What was 14-year-old Dave thinking about doing for a career?
14-year-old Dave had a backup plan of being either some kind of computer engineer or IT guy. That was kind of the career path. I was always loved computers. We build in-house software for some of the processes we have here. I also have a electronics rebuilding business on the side. At 14, I was looking towards just in case like parts never worked out. I was looking towards maybe IT, but as soon as stuff started picking up, I kind of finished school and took college for a little bit, but then dropped out to focus more on this. So it's my full-time gig now.
Yeah. That's just in case parts never worked out. Good thing they did, because now we're in this warehouse.
Yeah.
Could you tell us, moving forward to 15-year-old Dave again, he's looking at scrapyards, junkyards. What was that first direction, or what was that first step you took to actually going to a scrapyard? What scrapyard was it? What part did you choose, and how much profit did you make off that first part of yours?
I would say I didn't really know I wanted. No, that's incorrect. I knew I wanted to sell parts, but I didn't know how to get there because I knew it would be very like cash intensive. Like this, you need to put a lot of money into this too. Well, which I was a little naive at first, knowing how much money I had to put into this. But we started off. I got the place. I'm like, we're gonna maybe fix cars, do some body shop stuff on the side, and then pull off parts. For example, buy a similar vehicle on auction, take off what we need to rebuild our own vehicle, and then sell the excess parts. And that way to start, like we would start selling parts. And that's kind of how we started. For a year, we were just collecting parts. Like this warehouse, this is the first section where we set up racks, and we were just collecting parts, not really even having a proper inventory system or anything. We were just kind of like
getting listed.
Parts weren't even getting listed for a year. Like we were just collecting parts. Not that that was the best way to do it. It's, to be honest, it was just not enough time. Too stressed out to like actually give it the time of day. Until I had a acquaintance or a friend come up, and he told me, "You understand? You're paying money to store these parts. They're not just laying there for free. You know." It seems like you're paying for the rent, but in reality, you could be utilizing this space or subleasing it to someone. But you're just paying money out of your pocket to store some parts that you're not selling. So he says, and that kind of like clicked in my head. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm wasting money on storing parts for a year.
When you were storing these parts, were they physically in this same location?
Yeah, they were.
Were you already in this building?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in this building for a year.
With how many square feet did you start with?
I got the whole building right away, and that it kind of I was able to afford it solely from the electronics side of the other business. I was kind of this warehouse, this building wasn't bringing enough profit, to be honest, to really cover the costs. So I had a different business on the side that kind of allowed me to pay for it. But purely out of a business plan, that was kind of a bad move. But I think.
What was the square footage of?
Started at this building is 16,000 square foot. We used half of it, 8,000 of it for a warehouse, but we kind of took over more and more of it. So now warehouse space, realistically, we're probably using like 12,000 of it for warehouse space, and the dismantling bay is probably 4,000, around that size.
And this was Dave at 15 years old, signing at 16,000 square feet.
No. This was Dave at 21. So from 15 till 21, junkyards, eBay, scrounging up cash. I think realistically, or if I remember correctly, I had somewhere around 70, maybe to $100,000 in saved up cash. I'm not saying I did it all alone. This on top of all the cash that I saved up on my own, I had my parents that chipped in. I've had rough patches where I mentioned where eBay could be very difficult sometimes if you go below standard or some kind of um something happens where like you're not getting paid out. You're just imagine where you have 60,000 that's coming in or 40 or 20,000 every month, and now you have to pull it out of your own savings, or if you don't have good friends that help me out or parents, then you could really easily go underwater in a couple months. So thanks to my parents, uh they know who they are, they help me a lot. My friends, never forget you guys.
Yeah, going into the business thing. Once you do open up the business, the whole goal is to now stay in business, is not and now go into water, like you mentioned. What helped you guys stay now out of that deep end, and what's working for you guys, sports parts?
First, you need good workers. I think without a proper team in place, like someone that you could really rely on, to come in there, dismantle parts, day in day out, clean them, the whole process. You need a dedicated team. That takes quite a while because we went through firing processes and replacing employees that just couldn't fit our our goals. So having a proper team in place, really dial in your eBay customer service. Your ads have to be on point. You could be spending more than half of your ad spend on unnecessary items. You have to really see what you're spending money on. Just recently, we were spending 15 or $18,000 on campaigns, and half of it wasn't even effective. We were just spending money on stuff that never even sold. So really dial in your ads. It allows you not only to sell a lot of parts. You want to eBay ads are a crucial factor. I think once we activated ads, we went from 80,000 to 180,000 or 160,000 just by enabling ads and really monitoring it. So ads are a huge thing you have to focus on.
Now those numbers, 80 to 180, what time frame are you referring?
That's within 3 months. Within 3 months, it went from 80,000 to 180,000 within 3 months just by dialing our ads. Um, do every possible form of ads that eBay offers. Um, just monitor your return on ad spend. Make sure that's like locked in. I focus on the 4x return on all ad spend. That kind of stays within our profit margins, what we're supposed to make. And then I guess the third and final component is if you're starting fresh and you're a small yard, really focus on what cars you're buying, stuff that moves. Like minivans are great, sports cars, commercial vehicles. That means like any diesel trucks and stuff like that, or very low cost vehicles. If you can get them really cheap, look into local. There's these companies that buy vehicles locally, like Wheelsy and Cars for Cash or Clunkers for Cash and Car Brain. They serve your local markets. Call them, ask them. They offer vehicles really cheap. They have more than you could ever buy. They have, I think, on average between 600 and 800 vehicles a day. You could buy them really cheap. And this is a good way to start them. Like I'm talking, the cars are anywhere between 100 and 300 bucks. So you get to narrow it down. Inventory, great team, and really prioritize eBay. That's where you're gonna make most of your sales.
I like how you mentioned the inventory. What types of vehicles do you part out?
What types of vehicles we part out? We part out as of right now. Well, up until this point, we were parting out everything. Now we're parting out I said stuff that sells really well: minivans, sports cars. Uh, Caveat: minivans, sports cars, heavy duty stuff doesn't really matter the year or range. If it's in demand, it will sell. So the year range doesn't matter on those. Everything else, if you need inventory just to kind of fill in the blank areas where you're not really getting in like stuff that's in demand, you want to stick to 5 years or newer, because the reason for that is because body shops, they tend to only really repair vehicles that are within the 5 year range. They do repair older stuff, but a lot of older stuff gets totaled out and it just gets sent to auctions. So just like body shops are not looking for that stuff. But if you have newer stuff, you'd be surprised how quickly those body panels, those doors, those bumpers, those hoods, um, that sells really quickly off of newer vehicles.
Shifting over, let's say there's someone that's looking actually from your website looking to buy some parts for you. Now, are your parts tested? Do you offer some kind of warranty on your parts so they can have that peace of mind when buying?
Yeah, for warranty, we offer a standard 1 year warranty across the board. And for testing parts, we if the vehicle has a key, we'll try to start it, run it, make sure the engine's good, everything. If we cannot start the vehicle, we'll try to pull off the spark plugs, kind of look or leak down test. Um, Try to this for speaking in general about engines, but um, we will test the parts if the vehicle's running, where we could kind of test some of the components. If not, every single part, no matter if it gets started or not, we handle every single part. So we don't just list parts like some of these yards and we don't know if it works or not. We take off every part, we handle it. It will go through, let me count them off the top of my head, but 1, 2, 3, 4. It will go through 5 pairs of hands, every single part. By the time it's taken off the car and on the shelf, it'll not only that. There's a 6th group, which actually looks at the parts that's listing everything. So there's 6 inspection points that if there's anything wrong with the item, it will either get discarded or we'll write it in the notes that there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, I did notice as I was walking through your warehouse that maybe some doors could have like a little ding or a scratch, and I noticed you guys highlight that and take photos of that. How does that work with the body panels?
The photography team, they have instructions for every single ding or dent, or if it's metal pieces, metal like outside components, body panels, even bumpers, which are plastic, we'll mark them with a marker that's easily removable, just so you can see peace of mind. Even the smallest little ding, we'll mark it. Plastic pieces get anything minor, interior components. We'll put red stickers on it just to kind of bring your attention there. Um, the sticker goes next to it, not on top of the damaged items. So the sticker's not to cover anything up. It's just to bring your attention to that specific area so you can see what we're any damages. So we try to be as transparent. So what you see in the image is what you're gonna get. And sometimes if there's a listing mistake in the title, the image is always correct. I want to put that out there. Like whatever's in the image is what you will get. Sometimes the listing team might make a error here or there, but the image is what is the product.
Now, what got you so strict with marking maybe the smallest little marks of the marker? Was that eBay that had you guys on your toes there, or why do you guys do that and go above and beyond for customers?
I mean, there's a couple like its components to it. First, returns are not free for us. Someone has to pay for it, even though it might be free for the customer. We're paying for it if it's damaged. So we want to reduce the costs on returns. The other thing is if a customer sees everything, we've noticed we had a lot of customer messages about asking, hey, is this a dent? Is this a crack? To just reduce the amount of messages we get about questions about the quality of the item, we just go ahead out of our way to mark everything. Because we don't want to return, because there's also eBay metrics, like Bogdan mentioned. We don't want any bad eBay metrics showing that we have a lot of returns, because that negatively affects our rankings throughout eBay. We get higher fees, which we're trying to avoid, because the bigger the operation grows, every dollar counts, every percentage counts. So
What is your return policy?
our return policy is 1 year. So basically, actually, no, our warranty is 1 year. Our return policy is 60 days. So if If you get the part and for some reason you don't want it, you don't like it, then you have 60 days to return it, assuming there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if there's within a year the item fails, assuming you don't damage it yourself, we'll warranty it. That means we'll either send you a refund or try to replace it with the same type of part. But this is part only. We don't offer any labor warranty. This is you can buy additional warranty, 2-year or 3-year warranty. This is if you're on the phone or on the website, there's an option to select higher warranties, and there's also labor warranties if you're interested in that.
So how many people does that take? What's the size of the team?
The size of the team, yeah. So sorry to cut you off, but there's here at the actual facility, in total, there's I'm not sure the exact amount of people that work here because we have a lot of part-time people, but it's over 20 people. Not everyone's here. We have a team overseas that does eBay listing and some of the customer service stuff. But just alone here, I think there's 10 or 15 people here at this location at any given time, depending on the day.
And what's the biggest challenge with running such a large team or even a salvage yard?
The biggest challenge is, I'd say, consistency. It is just making sure you have a consistent amount of parts coming in. Employees are coming in consistently. It's hard when you don't have systems in place where, for example, for employees to let you know, hey, I won't be able to come in. Especially with smaller teams, 15 to 20 people, 1 or 2 people can be critical if they're both gone. So just being consistent, that's kind of one thing we're struggling on right now. Just making sure everybody's coming in same time, getting the same amount of parts out all the time. Because, I mean, just a little bit of business knowledge, but you're supposed to always be improving every month, at least 5%. 5% above, you're supposed to get more sales just so you could cover costs, because you have stuff that wears down. You have the more items you sell, the more returns you get. And returns are a big component where it takes a big toll on what's coming into the business. So, what I'm trying to say, if you're not consistent and that money starts to sorry, there's a fly here, but if you're not consistent and the money starts to fluctuate like randomly, you got to keep in mind you have a large team now, and if the money's not consistent, the stuff starts slowing down, and now you're having a bad month, and now you're trying to pull finances from other places, and so consistency, that's the number one thing we're trying to focus.
I like that. You always trying to get better. How do you stay up to date with the automotive industry, and how do you follow the trends and stay on top of your game?
Yeah, I guess big thing, coming from a Slavic background, it's a lot of times Slavics like to keep everything to themselves. They don't want to share anything. It's very secretive. And when I was coming up younger, I was like, oh, I got to be secret. No, I'm doing this. I can't let anybody get in on the bread and stuff. This is not how you want to do it in the automotive, especially in the automotive recycling business. This field, the more you share with each other, the better it is. So, couple of resources for you guys out there that you should really look into. URG. This is one that if you go on URG, they have a lot of resources on there that's going to help you guys either save costs, improve processes. Team PRP is great for if you're trying to save costs on shipping between yards, shipping parts from other suppliers. Also providing your customers more items, because you're able to sell other people's yards as if you could just it's called a partner program, so you'll be able to advertise their catalog on your website, and you should really look into that. And there's ARA also. ARA is a great resource. They have conventions. Go on their website, look up stuff there. There's a bunch of stuff for every aspect of the business. There's tools, shipping stuff, ad stuff. website building. There's there's a wealth of knowledge, and it's right there. They provide it for free. It just you have to reach out. Uh, and also, I've noticed most people in the industry, like the recycling, if you just call them, talk to them on the phone, be nice, they're willing to talk. They're friendly people out here.
I like that. All right, wrapping up. Let's say someone here is made it to the end of the video and they're very appreciative to learn all this about the parts industry. Is there anything else that you could leave them with? Maybe an industry secret or two, something spicy for them.
Industry secret or two.
Help them out if they're looking to get into the parts industry or if they're already in it. And look at
Highly recommend. Like this is if do it right from the very beginning. It's going to be very painful and very expensive if you don't do it. Get a inventory system. It doesn't matter. There's a couple providers out there. There's Carpart, which is what we use. There's Hollander, which has a Pinnacle system. I think there's Crush. But there's a couple. I'm assuming if you go on ChatGPT, you write in yard management systems or an inventory management system. Just from the very beginning, you want to be inventorying parts with that system. It's very hard later on to actually migrate. It took us, I think, 6 months to fully integrate into that system, which was very expensive and put us in a little hole for a while. But now we're finally out of it. But if you're doing parts, get an inventory system because then you'll be much better off. You won't regret it. I promise you.
beauty. All right, guys. David Melnick with Nitro Parts. Appreciate it.
Thank you.